Welcome back to World Tourism Day as we broadcast to you from Howick, and this is a very, very special site that we're broadcasting from, and the Abankwa Traditional Dance Group, that's who we've got on your screens right now, doing a fantastic job entertaining us here this morning. Oh, some of them are just adorable, these little ones especially, really wonderful to watch them. And this is KwaZulu-Natal, and if that doesn't scream KwaZulu-Natal, nothing does. So we are broadcasting from the Nelson Mandela capture site. You'll remember that this is where Madiba was captured on the 5th of August 1962, and we got a little bit of history from the minister as to the events that unfolded. But you'll remember that Mandela was actually acting as David Matsamai at the time as a chauffeur, but the apartheid police got wind that he was here in the area, and apparently this was actually after a meeting that he had with ANC President Chief Albert Luthuli, and word got out, and this is where he was arrested. And what a day it was. It changed his life and the trajectory of South Africa, and that date was the 5th of August 1962. Subsequently in 2012 there was this absolutely magnificent, I don't know what to call it, but it's just art on another level. It's absolutely magnificent, and this was erected here. If you haven't seen it, it's well worth coming and looking at it. In fact, it's the first time I'm seeing it, which I'm quite embarrassed to admit, but I'm admitting it, so it's never too late for you either. In 2012, this on the 5th of August was erected, and this was on the 50th anniversary of the capture. And if you stand in different angles, you will finally see the face of Madiba coming through. It's actually made up of 50 steel columns, and they are between 6 and 10 meters high, that are strategically placed together so that the shadow and the silhouette and profile of Madiba comes through. And this was designed by South African artist Marco Cianfanelli. Beautiful, really, really something special. So let's talk local tourism now, and when I mean local, I'm talking provincial levels. There was actually a meeting with all of the different MECs that was held yesterday, and of course the MEC of tourism here in the province was at that meeting. So let's have a little bit of a conversation with her. MEC Dube-Ncube, good to have you here on the program. Thank you so much for being with us on Morning Live.
Yes, good morning, Leanne, and good morning to you listeners and viewers at home.
This is quite a wonderful portfolio for you to have. You've obviously had to hit the ground running with this portfolio. How is it going so far?
Well, it's very exciting. I must say we're living on exciting times, but also we're living on challenging times where the economy is not doing well, but we have to make sure that we do everything in our power to save every single job that we can. And we've identified tourism as one of those sectors that has got a huge potential for us to really create new jobs, opportunities. And there's a number of programs that we have in place. And thanks to the minister as well, who've come in with very clear key priority areas, but also looking on a 5-year plan and aligning our programs and projects with what is happening at the national level, but also taking what's happening at the district level, at the provincial level, so that we all are able to sell the brand South Africa, but also we talk about the whole of South Africa, because one thing about South Africa is that you can't talk about Mandela unless you know where Mandela was born, unless you know Mandela where he grew up, unless you know where he was captured, unless you know what happened in which historical day, and a lot of other leaders in our country. So that is one area that we still need to work on. But also as KZN, we're working very hard on our historical sites, because as you know, we have many of historical sites right up here. The Nobel Peace Prize winner, Chief Albert Luthuli, where Mandela was coming from in Groundville, and he stopped at Imbali to have a meeting with the communities at Imbali with the likes of Herikwala before he then got captured here. But also we have John Langalibele Dube, first president of the African National Congress, but also where Nelson Mandela, cast his first ballot paper in 1994 to then assume the position of the president on the new South Africa.
Yeah, it's this area is steeped in history. But not only history, beauty, because while you're taking this tour of the history of Mandela, of the history of the ANC, of the history of South Africa, there's just this incredible beauty that you are surrounded by. One of the concerns that I was chatting to somebody about was the Howick Falls, and many talking to the fact that they're not looking so good. Now, yesterday this was addressed. What has been decided? How are you going to go forward on this issue?
Well, moving forward, we need to assist our municipalities in really ensuring that we clear our brand, but also our products. We need to revitalize the product because the tourists are here. They love our place. I mean, you can see here we get visitors even before the museum is actually opened officially. They're still using, we're still using our old initial mobile, museum that we started with 10 years ago. But the visitors that we're getting here, they're close to the visitors that you get in the likes of the Apartheid Museum in Johannesburg. But what you find then in Howick Falls is a different story, where the municipalities themselves on their own are not able to ensure that the infrastructure and the product development is at the level with which can sustain the visitors. And that's what we have decided to work on. We've decided to pay more attention at the district level and looking at each product development in each municipal level, see how we can support municipalities in the product, but also looking at the people themselves, because a number of community members have benefited from tourism in KwaZulu-Natal. You have ordinary people who've got into the sector. They're running the private game parks. They're running the restaurant. They're running their own catering companies, their restaurant. They're running B&Bs. A number of establishments are being run by young people, new people that are coming into the industry, and that's what we're working on. We also have quite exciting projects that we're working on as a province. I've just come back from Madrid, where we just received our hosting of the 2020 World Football Summit, which is going to be held here in Durban. Yes.
That's awesome. When is that? Which month is it happening?
It's happening in February.
Wow. Nice.
About 100 countries, about 2,000 delegates, about 800 soccer affiliates, La Liga and all the big affiliates in soccer leagues are going to be here. And that also talked to legacy project, because with that come the development of sport, come the development again of reviving even our 2010. When I was addressing the plenary, receiving that honor of being a next host, I reminded people about our hosting of the 2010 World Cup, and everybody was saying, wow, we have never seen any other World Cup like what we had in South Africa. And, hosting again this 2020 World Cup, World Football Summit, it's going to be another, cherry on the top.
It certainly is. It's a major achievement in the world's eyes once again on us. Now, before we wrap up, I know that you're very passionate about the different aspects of job creation in the industry, and so if people are looking behind us and wondering what is going on here, because I thought the same thing actually, but this is kind of the ladies that are all standing there are showing the different professions that are available in tourism. Tell us about this campaign.
Yes, what we see in this campaign is a number of young people that have benefited from the tourism and the hospitality industry, from the entertainment, where a lot of people are benefiting. We have a film commission in KwaZulu-Natal where we groom our own film, young filmmakers, and also scout for the film areas where people can come in and shoot films, world film here. You would know that we have a number of even film shows that are now being shot here in KwaZulu-Natal, and that industry is growing very well. What we've even decided to do is to buy the high technology cameras, so that when people come here, they don't have to bring their own cameras. They use our own cameras from our communities. That's the jobs that we are creating. But we also have the hospitality industry. As I said, young people that have become their own restaurant owners. We have young people that own their own, B&Bs. You have young people that are hostesses, that are, as you can see, there are chefs that are doing a number of things within the hospitality industry, showing a range and a variety of jobs that get created as we really pump in, as we really bring in visitors to come and visit KwaZulu-Natal. And indeed we are proud, Leon, that we have a huge scope to go. There's a lot of opportunities that still remain for us to go in the hospitality industry, and we think we have not even touched half of this industry. And if we are to grow jobs, if you are to create jobs using the technology as well, we are getting into the fourth industrial revolution, virtual reality. We are going to be using that in many of our sites as well. But we're saying when people look at the virtual reality of what they can see, we're saying in there, seeing is believing. Come in. We've got right down. I'm sure you might have landed at King Shaka International Airport. There we are building a new city in the Dube-Ncube port, a new smart city. Amazing. Where you can land in there, have a wedding, fly back, have a honeymoon. You can land in there, have a hospital industry right in there, sleep there, have a meeting, fly back, have everything you can do within that city. We're going to have factories, we're going to have industries there already. It's packed with a lot of industry that are coming in.
Perhaps that's the city that our president was dreaming about in his State of the Nation address that he gave us. Thank you for talking to us, MEC. Great, lots of energy and vigor coming in from our new MEC here in KwaZulu-Natal. So great to have met you and chatted to you and seeing your vision for this province, which I think is quite exciting. MEC Dube-Ncube. All right, the time is 8 o'clock on this Friday morning. Let's get your news with